Shoo-wee! Hey guys, it's Mike at Narxoleptic Customs. We are back with part 4 of the power steering saga. Woo! That's something gonna hit. For the power steering saga of the 66 Land Cruiser, the FJ40. Tonight we finally got, after a month, finally got the power steering box in. So I'm gonna pull the fender back off because the truck's been sitting outside. So we'll pull the fender back off and we can start figuring out the routing for where it will go. So basically you get, with the kit, you get a rag joint, which slides on like so. This bolt is not the one that goes with it. I was trying to find the pitch and I don't have one. And then this piece actually welds to the steering column, but it fits over these, and you put obviously nuts and washers on those. So that way when you turn it, it turns this out here. So anyways, we're gonna start kind of mounting that up. I'll have to trim this up, but I got to figure out how far up I need to trim it based on where the steering box fits. Shoo-wee! I was going to show you how thick that steering shaft was, but dadgum, that some bitch is hot. That is some super tough material there, and it doesn't help that the blades that I have are dull as shit. So anyways, we'll start mounting the steering box. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled the steering column out. That way we can cut on this without having to cut through the steering column. And then we can put it back in and mark where we'll need to be. All right guys, we are drilling holes for the steering box to mount on. Alright guys, sorry I didn't get a video of taking the steering wheel off. Didn't even think about it. Got to moving too fast there, but we're fixing to weld on the piece here. I got it all cut down to length that we'll need. So obviously you want it to be very tight for the steering, and this fits just so tightly down in there. So I'm going to take and push it down a little more with a sledgehammer so it gets down in there nice and deep where we need it, and we'll weld it up. Well, we're one step closer, so I have to get some nuts for these tomorrow. Sorry it glares so bad. We got the hose temporarily mounted, so I can start routing it with the return line that'll come down. I'll probably zip tie them together. That way it feeds into there. And on the inside we have the shaft kind of just dangling in here, so I can get an idea of where to put the this piece here, and then and this. And like I said, we had to take the steering wheel off, so I'll get that back on and put it all back together. Okay guys, so have the box mounted all the way down with our new bolts. Have the steering shaft mounted to the rag joint. We have the piece that's mounted here to keep it nice and tight. Also have a lock washer here, or lock nut there. We have the hoses ran, and this is actually kind of funny. because of the way the routing worked and the way it comes out of this hose, out of the system here, I actually had to route it in a loop there like that. Let's run inside. All right, guys, everything's back together on the system here. I've got to get another quart of power steering fluid so I can fill this up once we start the truck. So I'm going to go ahead and put the fender back on. That way we'll be ready to go when everything works. Okay guys, well, you saw us fighting the damn fender, so we're gonna go in here and we're gonna trim this piece. I've already kind of massaged the fender a little bit, but we're gonna grind on this piece here so we can maybe get it enough to mount the fender. Well, sure am glad Brian's here, because without him, I don't know how I would have done that myself. So we got the bracket clearance enough and the piece clearance enough, but not in the right spot, it looks like. All right, guys, it's all back together. We've got everything mounted. All I need to do now is torque these two head bolts down. I'll do that tomorrow, and we'll be able to try it out. All right, guys, Steven knocked out the rest of the parts, torqued the head bolts down, filled and bled the system for the power steering. So we're gonna start it up for you now and let you watch it go round and round. Cool. You gonna turn it? Much easier. Alright guys, let's at least drive the truck down the road a little bit. Like we probably need to recenter the steering wheel. I think this is the first time I've ever driven one of these. Manual brakes are certainly different. Alright guys, that's it. JT Outfitters power steering conversion done on an FJ40. Couple things I will mention is JT Outfitters does not include any bolts, any nuts, or anything like that. So be prepared to buy those. We've got a stack of receipts here. They also do not include which belt you need to use. I think for the money, they could afford to throw in a $10, $12 belt and a couple of nuts and bolts. To keep up with everything that's coming. next month.